Em 325 a.C., Alexandre havia expandido suas fronteiras quase 4.800 quilômetros da Grécia até a Índia. O exército dele pode ter sido uma máquina destruidora, mas o legado de seu império foi um novo mundo grego. A estratégia de Alexandre para governar nações conquistadas incluía acomodação e assimilação. Ele fazia com que soldados desposassem mulheres locais e depois permanecessem como funcionários do império. Cidades outrora persas, egípcias ou indianas eram transformadas em cidades gregas. Foi uma invasão de ideais que formou uma cultura híbrida conhecida como helenismo.
So definitely there are striking parallels with what's going on today, in our today era of globalization. Today we have a common language, which is English, is the language of trade. After Alexander the Great, you have people who have adopted the Greek customs and the Greek language.
O helenismo teve sua expressão máxima na vida urbana, e a expressão máxima dessa expansão dominadora grega revelou-se no planejamento de cidades. Quer construíssem uma nova cidade ou reformassem uma antiga, os engenheiros de Alexandre faziam um traçado urbano em forma de grade, usado pelos gregos desde o século V a.C.
The grid plan, which was used in these cities, was a symbol of order. Any government that could replace the traditional winding alleyways of a city with a rectilineal grid plan of streets at right angles was a government to be feared, a government to take notice of.
Alexander's campaigns in Asia Minor would create a new world order. Today we call it Hellenism. If you lived in a city conquered by Alexander, you lived in a Greek city. This is an example of such a city. It's called Pergamum. 2,000 years ago, Pergamum would have had all the elements of a Greek city: agora, temples, gymnasium, theater. Pergamum would eventually rival Athens as a cultural center. As a matter of fact, the sculptural style pulled out of Pergamum would galvanize Michelangelo and change the face of the visual arts forever. Pergamum was built on a series of slopes. It was engineered like this. It was dramatic, it was theatrical, and it was meant to be.
Hoje, as ruínas de Pérgamo encontram-se a uma altura elevada na moderna Turquia, um monumento espetacular à engenharia urbana grega.
The city seems to be clinging on this steep hill. It seems that the architects who built this city sort of took into account the topography in many ways, symbolically to start with, meaning that higher up were the palaces and temples.
A cidade ergue-se 300 metros acima do nível do mar, o que requeria uma série de terraços extensos e complexos. Nos tempos helenísticos, Atenas não era a mais poderosa cidade que fora outrora. Outras cidades de importância floresceram e dentre estas se destacou Pérgamo.
In some ways, it's an echo of the Acropolis of Athens, where the temples stand on a hill, a natural rock over the city. And no expense is spared in building splendid temples and splendid public buildings in Pergamon. And so Greek city planning begins earlier than Alexander, but it's taken to perfection in the Hellenistic period. And wherever you go, each of them has a recognizable institution. Each of them will have a Greek theater. Each of them will have Greek temples. Each of them will have a gymnasium. Each of them will have a agora, a marketplace come forum.
O centro de uma cidade grega encontrava-se em seu mercado público chamado Ágora. Aqui os mercadores vendiam suas mercadorias e os cidadãos reuniam-se para discutir os assuntos políticos do dia. Adjacente à Ágora ficava a Stoa, uma estrutura simples equivalente a uma alameda coberta. A Stoa consistia em uma colunata de um lado e uma parede do outro lado, um abrigo que, mesmo aberto, protegia contra os elementos. O Ágora e a Stoa eram o coração econômico, público e político da cidade helenística, mas sua alma cultural jazia em outra maravilha da engenharia, a mais importante nas cidades helenísticas: o teatro.
The theater is basically an Athenian invention. Drama is, above all, democratic. It develops in Athens concomitantly with the Athenian democracy.
Theater was an essential and very important aspect of the Greek outlook to the world, how they thought of themselves and how they thought of the world. And I think to many people's opinion is one of the great legacies that the ancient Greek civilization has bestowed upon us today.
Teatros na Grécia Antiga não eram apenas fóruns para comentários sociais. Eles inspiraram os romanos na edificação de coliseus e estabeleceram o padrão para a construção de estádios nos 2000 anos seguintes.
Separate your men by tribe, by clan, such that clan may bear aid to clan and tribe to tribe. Thus spake Nestor to Agamemnon in the Iliad. And those words might have been said here, because one of the great gifts of Greek culture to the world is theater and music. This is a Greek theater at Pergamum. It is the steepest of its kind. Now, a Broadway theater, and I've played in a few, holds between 800 or 900 people and maybe 2,000 if it's a musical house. This theater holds thousands and thousands and thousands of spectators. So how in the heck can an actor stand on that stage and project his voice such as that the spectator in the very last row at the back of this theater can hear what he's saying? Well, the answer is sort of an engineering feat. The theater, first of all, is dug out of the side of a mountain, and it doesn't need a very big substructure because the side of the mountain provides the support for these stone benches. Second of all, the theater is in a semicircle, and the semicircle gives way to an amazing sense of acoustics. You can stand on that stage and you can almost whisper, and someone in the very back row would hear you as if you were speaking right into his ear because the sound would bounce off the back wall. Third thing is that the actors wore masks. And these masks not only function as character, but they also function as sort of a megaphone through the lips. So these three elements combined, this theater would be a fantastic place to come and hear the Agamemnon performed by Aeschylus.
I think undoubtedly the best preserved ancient Greek theater, the theater at Epidauros in the Argolid Peninsula in the Peloponnesus.
Os teatros gregos eram divididos em 3 partes básicas. O teatron, ou área de vista, onde a audiência se sentava. A orquestra, ou área dançante, onde ocorria a maior parte da ação. E o skene, construção de madeira posta de trás da orquestra. O skene, com seu teto chato, era usado para camarins, pano de fundo e às vezes como cenário. O Teatro de Epidauro tem 55 filas de assentos e é dividido em 3 seções. Escadarias dividem as seções de assentos em fatias separadas. Ao todo, estima-se que este gigantesco teatro tenha capacidade para 12 a 14 mil pessoas. Mas é a engenharia acústica que torna o Teatro de Epidauro espetacular.
If you're sitting up in the top row, you're a long way away from the stage. And the person who's down in the orchestra or on the stage looks quite tiny. And yet, you can have a conversation with that person with only a slight elevation of your voice.